So, you know what time it is.
Oh yes.
Woo!
Oh
We
yes.
gotta bring in our first guest.
Woo!
Please, everybody, welcome Willie Macc.
Woo!
Yes.
Well,
Willie,
Hi.
Hey.
hi.
welcome.
What's up,
Well,
good people?
what's up? What's up? What's up? You actually, with your glasses and your great afro, you're channeling Chris Rock right now, just a little bit.
Hey, it's trying to look like my logo right here.
Right. Nice. And this is Chris Rock, pre-gray, because now we've got a salt pepper.
I
Uh,
know.
we got a salt pepper.
Who do you appreciate comedy more from, pre-gray or post-gray Chris Rock?
Hmm. Gosh, the thing is funny you should ask, Willie, because one of the things that was happening in our conversation, and even as my own mind thought, like every age and stage of my own life, these there's different things. So like it's hard to say because whatever he was doing pre-gray probably worked. Bigger and Blacker worked. I remember him talking about I don't like the N-word either, and and he says when I'm at the ATM I'm scared too if they
Yeah.
walk. And so I could connect with that. But I'm sure now here we are in this other space a few years later, and we're all having a different conversation. Do you know what I'm saying? And even though that was a funny joke, and it certainly rang true. So for me, that's a hard question. For me, I can only say for me, everybody else answer. It's a hard question to answer because we're all rolling. And then because I know I'm younger than Chris Rock, but I'm probably closer to his age. So then I'm like, his kids are grown. My son just turned 18. Do you know what I'm saying? So we're just on pace like that in terms of what I appreciate.
You can't use that because my son just turned 18.
I know, but you got a special story. You got a beautiful, funny, amazing story. Your story
I have
is
a hell of a story.
you do. You do. And we're trying to get into it. But does anybody else? That was a great question. Pre-gray or
I mean, Tambourine on Netflix was really good.
I know. That's why I'm having a struggle with it.
Yeah,
Like Tambourine and Bigger and Blacker was
Bigger, Blacker was so good.
Yes.
Yep.
I've seen that probably like 10, 13, I don't know, maybe more. I own it on DVD still, and whenever it came on HBO, I would still watch it anyway.
Nice.
Here's what I think it is for some people, and I could be completely wrong, so I'll speak for myself. Like the Tambourine came from a deep place. Like it came from just that the cheating aspect, some of the stuff that he's just been living through, and all this other stuff. He's finally got it off his chest. Whereas we quote Bigger and Blacker, we can that was just one of those other type of classics where it's kind of like it reminds me kind of like Jay-Z. We rap Big Pimpin', but his the newest album that he had was like, whoa, he's over here rapping about stock markets and buying paintings. Like,
444. Woo.
444, yeah. So that's how I feel about it.
Especially that police brutality joke he had. That was really, really good.
Oh yeah. It's still very relevant.
Yes.
I don't know. That's really
Now it got quiet.
Now I want to go watch. Like now I'm like so focused. Like which one was better? I can't pick.
Right. And as soon as I get off here, I'm gonna go run and watch. And see like, okay, let me.
Yeah, she's gonna take notes. And then she's going to send me to Chris Rock. I thought this one, but then this one. And then here at 20 minutes, but you're 20 minutes at this one. This is... I think I'll give them both a 5 out of 5. And then you tell me which one you like doing the best.
Right.
That's how we'll determine this.
Two goats, though, would have Bernie Mac and Patrice O'Neal.
Bernie Mac. And thank you, Willie, because there were so many names running, and then it's so funny how there's a thing on your mind, and then when you start to talk, this other thing happens. But yes, the great Bernie Mac. Another one I got to meet while he was touring with the Def Jam, and just how he just came and there was a takeover. He's just power. And on Kings of Comedy, he came out, if I'm not mistaken, I know I saw it one time, all white. And so seeing this very, very, very dark man in this white was just always like this amazing. Just this, he did not come to play. He did not come to play with us. He meant business.
Jengalang. That's one of my favorite movies.
To be who I am. That's why my name is Willie Macc. I moved out here in 2004 And I didn't want to be in this industry at all. I came out here chasing a girl and went to college and all this other stuff. I knew nothing about this industry like that. Like, I grew up a preacher's kid, very sheltered in the Midwest. So the idea that people could get paid and just do comedy, because where I'm from, it was just called, you're acting silly, stop it. I didn't know there was something that could be encouraged. And if encouraged, it could just really have blossomed maybe years ago. So,
yeah, you're acting silly. Stop it is what they tell me at my software job during the day. So,
But Willie, you got on the map first with College Hill, like fourth season of College Hill. So was stand up always part of the vision, even when you were navigating College Hill?
No, I didn't start stand up until after College Hill, because I started doing a lot of radio interviews. And people were like, "You're funny. Tell us a joke." And I never had a joke for them. I was like, "Oh man, I'm just goofy or whatever." That's like, you should be a comedian. You tell a joke. So I remember my first. Do y'all remember y'all's first joke ever?
Yeah.
I think it was about my silicone boobs. I think so.
now, when you say your first joke, do you mean your first, like, oh, this is mine, and I tell it to multiple people?
Like,
What kind of layered question was that, man?
Well, like, I'm saying, like, the first joke you ever told, or the first joke that, like, you're just like, oh, I'm going to tell this to multiple people because it's mine, kind of joke.
Well,
is that what you're asking?
I have both. The first time, I didn't know it was like stand-up, but in 4th grade, I used to be this kid who used to act like his hand was alive. Like, I'll be in class, be like, no, not right now, we'll talk later. And I act like I'm like the hands attacking me. Like, I was doing it, but it got all these people laughing. And I was like, I like this. So that was like my thing. Like, obviously now I know that could have been like a Robin Williams or Jim Carrey type stand-up. But then my very first joke was after College Hill. And it was, so I'm new to California. Since I've been out here, I've been shot at 4 times. My car was broken into and my place got robbed. But I got that taken care of because I broke up with that girl. Like, that was my very first book ever written. It's in the books. So, yeah.
Isn't it interesting how, I don't know, but for me personally, making people laugh is to me, it's like a high. Like, I love making people laugh. Like, I get a kick out of it. Do you guys feel the same way when you do stand up?
Very much. And actually, Willie, you took me back, because then I had to remember that the first time I ever did an open mic was like, I guess 20 years ago, and I quit. And I was like, what was? Like, I was thinking about the first jokes on this Born Again tour that I'm on, but I'm like, what was my first joke? And it was, I'm going to actually have to think about it, because it was just, I was working at Banana Republic. I just moved out here. And so I was working at Banana Republic in the Beverly Center. And I remember making jokes about the fact that when people would come in and ask for sizes, but I'm like, right now I'm stumped. I can't even really remember the joke. And I don't have the notebooks. It was just like, there was always this communication barrier. And I was new, and I was certainly new to California. So there was just a communication barrier when Latinos would come in and talk to me about sizes and different things. And I don't know, I found some humor in that. And I certainly found humor in some of the clothes, because I remember there was this dress I had, and it was like this straight dress. And my joke about it was that I looked like a black Barbie, because it was one of those like sleeveless, like just straight cut. And at the time, before children, I was just very straight, rail skinny. So I think I had this piece where I was like, I'm a Barbie in this, I don't know, in this dress, whatever. But I do have a question for you, Willie. So stand-up wasn't like the first thing, but so coming out of, because, you know, a lot of reality stars don't really, like, it doesn't always morph into much after this. I mean, you've got Omarosa, but that's not the example any of us, you know, want to follow. What do you think kind of became your magic? This joke, like, what do you think became your magic?
So back to Bernie Mac. So it ties in. So obviously, knowing nothing about this place, LA, and I was going to college, and I obviously needed some money. So someone was like, hey, you should do something called background work. I had no idea what this was. So I signed up, started doing background work, and I was supposed to work one day on the Bernie Mac show. And so I go there, and I used to have this really big afro back in the day. I mean, like, just massive. And I was one of those people that wore like the button-up shirts with the baggy jeans with like fake red Crocs on, like not Crocs, like crocodile dress shoes. Like I was that. Like, everybody knew I was not from California. One of those. So I'm walking in, and Kalita Smith, who played Bernie Mac's wife on the Bernie Mac show, comes up to me. She's like, "You're not from here. Where are you from?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm from St. Louis." And then she's like, "Oh, my assistant's from St. Louis." She brings over her assistant. We find out we went to the same high school, different years. And as I'm talking to them, Bernie Mac comes out, and he's like, "Who's this melted milk dud y'all talking to?" And that one day turned into 6 days because Bernie Mac at this time was really sick. And so he couldn't do certain days and all this other stuff, but he was just the coolest person to me. And I was like, whatever it is this dude does, that's what I want to do. And that's when I started studying like stand up and being funny and all this other stuff. Then I found out Bernie Mac isn't his real name. Yep. I was like, what? We can change our names? Like his real name is Bernard McCullen, and my real name is William McMiller. So I was like, oh, I'm gonna be Willie Macc and just add an extra C to be different. Like, so that's kind of how all of that came about.
Nice. All right, so you were clearly a natural, and from fourth grade, you were clearly a natural. But like, did you? One of the things that a lot of people do, obviously, out here is study. They go to the UCB, they go find a comedy teacher, they go like. Did you find yourself studying or doing any of that work?
So I went through the whole UCB program, 101 to 401. I did not graduate because when I was doing 401. This is when comedy started picking up, so I was touring on weekends. And so I was never able to do, I missed one class too many, and they're like, you're going to have to take 401 again. I was like, I don't have to. Like, I got all I could get. Then I started doing I did the UCB sketch writing class, and I did flat. So I quit for 3 years because I did comedy from 2000 and maybe let's say 2008 until 2010 and 2011 to be exact, actually. And I hated it because I was like, I'm not funny. I'm like, I'm up here I'm doing my best. I'm being goofy. I'm being this guy. Why is no one laughing? And so the 3 years I took off, I became a TV editor I started TV editing. And then I was just missing the stage. I just felt this desire to just make someone laugh. And if you know anything about TV editors, they're all boring, man. They're the most boring people in the world. And so I took Flappers University's class just for something to give me that little taste of just something. Like I need to get back into it. So I did that to get that little thing. And then I figured out what was wrong with me while I was doing that. I was like, I wasn't being authentic. I was forcing myself to be goofy and silly and all this other stuff. And I'm like, people are like, your life is funny, Willie. You knocked up a lesbian who wanted to try out men. Like, what more do you need to talk about than that? And then it started developing, and I appreciated it, and I started studying, and then here we are.
Wow. There's a lot of controversy afoot. There is an initiative about the diversity situation at UCB, and all these places. I don't even know if you're aware of this movement. A great group of folks got together and developed like a whole list of kind of demands of UCB when they reform. But I actually have like a kind of a different question for you. Even we'll go back to that. Like, you did what? You were in 3 Super Bowl commercials.
I was in 3 Super Bowl commercials.
Like, so running alongside of the acting, I mean, the comedy has been commercial acting. Like somebody's listening or will listen and be like, how did you crack that code? Like, because I saw a good friend of mine last year, Patrick Cage, get a Super Bowl commercial and get I think he got a Super Bowl and an Emmy. So tell us about cracking that code, like 3 Super Bowl commercials.
Well, I haven't cracked the code to get a Super Bowl commercial and an Emmy, but the
Emmy commercial, not Emmy. Emmy commercial, not Emmy.
Oh, wow.
Like he ran his. So I was just, but I'm thinking you're still the GOAT, man. With three. So you're still the GOAT. You're still the GOAT.
So obviously you don't know that they're Super Bowl commercials, and because they'll say, hey, some of them they'll just be like, hey, it's just a regular audition. It's funny because most actors do not want Super Bowl commercials. I was in one last year, and here's why most actors do not want the Super Bowl commercials, because they usually only air it that one time during the Super Bowl. So that means we still get paid SAG scale, so we only get that one residual, and then it's over. Super Bowl commercial is cool on paper, like, yeah, you was in these Super Bowl commercials. I saw you, but you like, yeah, I brought home maybe $2,700, and like that's it. Like, there's no residuals, or it's not playing again. So once you get that, once I got my first taste of the Super Bowl commercials last year, I was like, cool. So when I booked these 3 spots or whatever, I was like, awesome. They're like, yeah, they're Super Bowl commercials. I was like, okay. So it's one of those things. Like, it sounds good on paper, but here's what it was about me and commercials. Because 2014, I was over being a TV editor, and I was like, I want to figure out commercials so bad. So what I did specifically, what a lot of people do not do, like they'll take a couple commercial classes, or they take this one and that one, and they're probably bomb commercial classes. You learned everything you could. But what I did differently was I took every commercial class by casting directors. So are they basic? Am I tired of slating my name because I don't know how to slate my name? Yes. But now I'm in this casting director's face every week. So I was doing 3 at a time, and I did them multiples of times. So they're like, Willie, what's up, Willie? So then I didn't know me. Now I'm inviting them to my comedy show. So I built up a relationship with these casting directors. And I told a couple people this. Like, it's not necessarily a secret that I have, but it's something that I did. And I hear people kind of, and I get it. But it's like, I'm gonna explain. Let me just say it. Let me get my thoughts out. A lot of the biggest thing people say is, I cannot afford it. And I'm like, you can. You can. I mean, you might not have $400 right now, but if you put aside $20, I didn't have the $400 at first. I put the $20 aside every week until I was able to. It took me a few months to collect that, to get that money. And so, but I did it because I wanted it. Maybe I'm not doing Starbucks today. Maybe I don't need to go do a couple mics today because that's $10, $20, $30 I'm spending a week on this. But I knew that if I get one commercial, it could, kind of set things up. So that's kind of the route that I did. So now I've developed these relationships. I massaged them, and they bring me in. And when they bring you in, they'll take a little bit more time with you. They'll be like, all right, Willie, actually, we're going to scratch this one from the tape, but do XYZ, because we heard the director really wants to see blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh, good luck. Yeah, so that's kind of what my secret to success is, and I've done well.
That is a great thing. No, actually, honestly, that is so smart. Actually, a couple of people asked me about voiceover, and there's big known ones, big known schools like Kalmanson and Kalmanson, and a couple of others. But I came across this new school called Voice Masters, and they're actually the casting directors for a bunch of movies on Netflix. Mm-hmm. Guess what? The first people they go to are their students because they've already worked with them directly and are so much more easier to go ahead and give instructions and direction to. It's the smart thing. I mean, you're investing in yourself when you take classes, whether it's flappers. I did flappers. That's actually how I decided to go into stand-up. You're investing in yourself, and you have to make the decision whether drinks at Perch are worth it, or or yourself. Yeah,
I'm with you. That's completely true, and it's those things that people who don't want to. I feel like if you like, I smoke weed, but if I had to choose, a lot of the comics that complain about it smoke, and they're like, I can't afford it. I'm like, how'd you get that? How'd you get that blunt? Are you out there giving hand jobs? No, you paid for that. Just put that to the side and invest in yourself. So I'm completely with you on that.
Wow, amen. And that's the discipline. That's actually great advice because I'm doing a lot of voiceover auditions, but I'm still looking the book and I'm like, I gotta crack the code on this. Like, like I'm excited, I got an agent, but it's all beautiful, but you want a book work. So that's, that's the thing. So we talked about your son a little bit earlier, just we touched on it, but like, how, like, obviously he's cool with it. I just actually started including my child in my stand-up, and so he's kind of but how does your son feel being like such a great centerpiece? And I mean, just this, you have one of the greatest stories ever, but yeah, like, how does your son feel about it?
It took some time. I started talking about him in maybe 2014, and it wasn't until last year that I kind of told him, like, look, I'm about to go full throttle on your ass. So this is just what it is. People seem to like me making fun of this whole craziness. And not just did I sit him down, I sat my son mom down. I'm like, I'm about to start telling people that I got a gay baby mama, and this is not so that was my way of trying to get their blessing, but also let them know, like, just work with me, because I can promise you I can probably get a TV show off this in a few years. Just roll with the punches. So they kind of like whatever. But I did have a conversation because I just started talking about her, and I just posted a clip on TikTok because my numbers on TikTok are like crazy. Like all I do is post my stand-up clips on TikTok. That's it. If you look at my TikTok, it's just my stand-up, and my last one got like 1.3 million views. But I mean, I got a few millions of those type of views ones. So, but I'm talking about my daughter, and my daughter's story is very interesting. So my son, she's really just my son's sister, but her dad's not in her life at all. So at 4, because I have my son all the time, she's like, "Can you be my dad too?" So I adopted her. And
how old were you? How old were you?
Oh,
at that time?
This was 11. Yeah, this was 11 years ago. I was like 24. I'm really bad at math, so I hate that you're trying to make me do math right now.
I got you. I got a math degree. I got you.
So
carry the one.
To carry the one divided by
Is it 11-teen? I think it's 11-teen.
We don't need you to show off, Dana. Okay, we know you know your math.
I didn't say nothing. That was Dan. I didn't say nothing. I just want to help if he needs a lifeline.
Yes, I'm showing off my math by saying 11-teen.
But it was more than just the okay to it. It's like, how do you say no? Even if I wanted to say no, I'm not monsterish enough to see this little 4-year-old girl be like, "Can you be my dad too, mister?" Like, oh yes. Like, come on, little kid. Do I regret it? Hell yeah, easily. She's crazy as hell. She's a psychopath. But she's my psychopath, and I love her to death. So I had a conversation with her because I'm like, she's very sensitive. She's a little heavier set, and she just came out that she was gay to me, and I was like, oh, okay, yeah, whatever. Is it cool if I talk about this? Like, can we? So she was like, I don't want you to talk about these type of things, but you can talk about this stuff. So I made sure that it's okay with everybody when I'm talking about them within reason. If it's like, I don't want you to say that I got pink hair, I'm like, all right, you're losing this argument. But if you don't want me to talk about your weight, or you don't want me to talk about what you're into, then I respect that. So yeah, that's kind of the process of it. But my son, I don't necessarily care about at all. Like, I'm like, you getting all this work, homie.
Yes, I saw the pee in the bathroom and then the twerking in the shower. That was, I was like, oh no.
Kids are so literal. They're so literal. And I didn't know it because I'm still young myself. So I don't know to tell the kid. First of all, I shouldn't have told my son to use the bathroom in the shower anyways. I should have just said, get out the shower and use the bathroom. But
you learned that on your own anyway, so
I'm like,
there's a drain. There's a drain.
So that's kind of how that's a little bit of that. But then it started getting interesting when my son is now working a full-time job, and I talk about this in my stand-up. Like, I had to borrow money from my son to pay child support on him. Like that's something that, because I'm not working as a comic right now, so it's like, how do you say this type of stuff? So I talk about it in my stand up. My stand up is my life story with some little twists and turns in it.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds like you that was kind of like the way the government uses money, right? Like borrow it from your son to pay child support on him. It's a government process.
Oh my goodness, that's probably where I got it from.
What is your son now? Okay, so what is your son's job? What does he do?
So my son's a graphic artist. He draws
Oh,
and
yeah, nice.
the tools that they have nowadays just almost feel like cheat codes.
Yes.
I had Oregon Trail. Like
You had what?
You remember that game Oregon Trail? Anybody?
Oh,
Like,
Yeah, I died of dysentery like 40 times.
yes, I didn't know until last year. Last year that Minesweeper, you're not supposed to find the bombs. Like I always thought you wanted to find those. So
Only if you want a medal.
Only if you want a medal.
Yeah. If you find them, he give you a medal when you come back.
Oh, that's funny. I didn't even. I like, now they're playing, like my son has 3 monitors set up in his room, and just like it looked like he's playing. He's in a whole nother world. He's playing. My son's also a professional. Like I don't say professional. He streams on like Twitch and YouTube with his gaming, and he's like, "Dad, I got to do this because I'm in a $20,000 tournament right now." It's like, well, what?
Yeah. Yeah.
Fortnite, Call of Duty.
It's funny. And
Call of Duty and NBA Live.
Wow.
yeah, my kids showed my mom, like they watch like Infinite and Unspeakable. These guys, they're clean guys that play video games. Mom's like clowning on him. Is this what he does with his whole life? He just plays video games and people watch, and they go, "He's got a bigger house than you do, Mom."
And now they're considering it a sport at colleges. Like you can get it's an esports scholarship.
Yep.
Like you can go to like top colleges off a scholarship from just playing video games. And I'm like,
yep.
Whoa.
You gotta like insure your thumbs for $1 million each. Yeah.
Well, they're
some
trying
of
to
them
get
do
it.
have insurance on them. Like my son bought a Xbox controller that's $250. He's
The
like,
elite.
yeah, that's what it. Oh, you a gamer?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. It is the elite, and he's like, yeah, Dad, look, it doesn't like when you hit the gun button, it doesn't go all the way down for a quicker reaction time. And I'm like, I'm done. I'm like, I'll give you them. I'll help you out. Like I set him up. He got like this green screen with the lights and I forget the Delgado, so he can, or the Elgato or something like this. Play.
Save his clips. Clips.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. I do that stuff too.
Oh, that's what's up, man. Like,
oh no, I
Okay, can you guys like file for workers' comp for carpal tunnel as a gamer, a professional gamer?
I mean, if you're making it up where you could pay into workers' comp, like you privatize yourself and you pay into it, then you can pay yourself back. But I don't know if that's a loophole that only certain people go through or something. I don't know.
all I know is. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No. Like this is like, cause my son games. He's a PlayStation guy, and he is a visual artist. I'm trying to get him into graphic design. He's going to Otis for art, but he wants to do like character animation. But I'm thinking, man, you're already a gold mine with this video gaming thing. Like, what are you doing? Like, that's why I'm like, I feel like I want to light a fire under him. Those are great numbers.
Those are they're great numbers. The thing is, he gotta find his niche. Like. What's gonna make him different from everybody else? Something that I was telling my son was, use some of your money to put towards advertising. Like, how do you find make sure you're doing the right tags, and like I'm like, if you want to go full throttle in this, you're gonna have to do this like I do stand up. And then with stand up, there's plenty of years and shows that I'm doing for free that people are like, are you really just doing stand up? Like, what is it? Like, shut up. This is, if you're gonna be passionate, Malcolm, go all in. And I'm trying to talk my son out of college anyways, because I just found out that if he goes to college, I got to pay child support until he's 21. So I'm encouraging the Elgato all day.
Are you serious?
Yep.
It's kind of funny because William Davis just made a comment about something my daughters play, and they also watch videos of other people playing this Roblox game.
Yeah.
And it's not the best graphics, but there's tons of stuff. I play paintball with them, and they go, "Well, it's paintball," and they go, "Yeah, then why did I blow up after it hit me? That's a badass paintball gun, you know." And it's
That's
like, well,
yeah.
I'll
Yeah,
put
I
it
know
that
this.
that's
the
pretty good.
Roblox. That one, it's just like those little. They look like Legos. Like I'll watch them play Fortnite, but even with Fortnite, it's too fast to watch on screen. It's like build, shoot, fly, skip. It's like visually, it just messes with my eyes, and I'm
Yeah.
okay with checkers. Like I like you
Yeah.
want to checkers, but no, teamy all day.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I
my
mean, the thing I like about Roblox is that my kids want to watch scary games, but
Hmm.
you know, I really don't want to watch some of the scary games. But they actually have scary game versions put into Roblox, where it's like, oh, the Lego Granny's gonna get me, and it's like, it's like, well, and they're like, oh, it's scary, Dad. And I go, sure, yeah, that's scary. Keep watching.
Well, that's it's crazy. I watched my daughter play that Roblox stuff, and then I see some of the people who are playing it and posting videos on YouTube, and when you see the numbers they're getting, it's insane.
Right.
It is,
It's
yeah,
insane. One guy she
millions and
watches,
millions.
yeah, he's got like 4.75 something million, and all he's doing is like, hey, acting like a freaking idiot. And
Hi, I'm Preston. Look at me, bro. Bro. I hit that, bro. I hit that, bro. Yeah,
oh yeah, just
I make
having
fun of that part of it.
spasms.
I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna lie,
Got
bro.
like they got like severe like Tourette's or something,
Well,
and
well,
yeah, it's really crazy, man.
It's funny you say that though. So you mentioned how your parents would take you to raunchy movies as kids. My dad would take me to scary movies as kids. So not only would we get the nudity, we'd get the gores with it too, right? And my dad was a gamer, so he came to this country like in his like late 20s. So English very horrible, but gaming was his one super American thing. And
Wow.
he would play games and I would watch him nonstop. Like I watched him play Resident Evil, Resident Evil 2, like all those games. So I grew up watching people play games and I loved it.
Yes,
To this day,
yes,
I still
yes.
watch people play games. I like gamers. That's why I usually date gamers.
Hmm.
And I dated this one gamer who was stream on Twitch. And he was one of those guys, the typical, all like his roommates all games, so they would be playing the same damn game in the same household and it'd just go on for hours. He would ignore me completely. The great thing about Twitch is apparently you can get money donated to you. When I was there, I would just walk by and he would get like $20 donations. So apparently you need women to make money on Twitch. And it was great. I was like, great, you can buy me dinner today. But I did break up with him when he called me bruh.
What?
Oh wow.
what's up, bro?
Bruh.
I ain't gonna lie. You're my favorite friend, bro. Ain't gonna lie.
I'm like, I was like, you're a 26-year-old man. Why are you calling me bruh?
Hey, Willie, we have more show. Would you like to stay with us for the rest of the show?
Yeah, let's see what y'all talking about. Let's do it.